with him.
Thank you very much, Matt Hayes and Avenger. What a pleasure it is to be joining Mr. Porosaurus for the final 3 games of the Season 2 qualifiers.
Yes, welcome to the casting booth, Mr. Esquire, as our plane has gone across Arangel. Everybody going to their normal looting locations. Method looking like they're going back to Comiskey after going away. North George last time. And look at that circle. Oh, man.
Going to be paying off for them in this instance because that northeastern circle is going to be at bane for some of the teams, specifically going to be Na'Vi down there in Primorsk and some of our West Coast teams that have to make their way far across part of this game. But with so much on the line here, the final 3 opportunities for all of our 16 teams here in this lobby to rack up those points and try to get into the top 8 to advance into our finals. But with that, Poro, it has been heated action already. We're seeing teams sort of on the cusp fighting back and forth just to try to advance.
And the interesting about this northeastern circle that we're seeing yet again, these teams are going to have to make that decision. Do we want to go north of the river? Do we want to go north of Yasnaya when we do transition? Or are we opting again for this southeast? We have seen this circle kind of play out more towards that southeastern edge in the last couple of games, but there's no reason to believe it's going to do it again.
Yeah, certainly we cannot bet on that happening once again. Got Divine going to be rolling out. They've had a better day than they have in the last 3 days of the tournament, but unfortunate for them, they're going to need some huge finishes for the last 3 games to try to do whatever they can to get into that top 8. Welcome to South George. No surprises here. They're going to be looting up to their heart's content in the place that they know and love. South Georgia Pole. We can see Gaxi rolling in, going to be reuniting with his teammates. But the real story is this centralized area, specifically Yasnaya Polyana, where MVP and M19 have landed once again. We haven't seen a lot of action here, but that might change.
But once again, yet another circle where we're not going to have to see MVP have to rotate out of Yasnaya. They can go pretty much wherever they want to. Obviously, they'll probably leave the city of Yasnaya itself proper, but they don't have to go very far. They're not being pressured by pushing into the circle. They're not going to have to go from the edge and make their way to the center. They're just kind of gifted the center off the first just a jump, essentially.
Yeah,
here.
and I mean, sometimes being gifted the center isn't necessarily the best
Not
thing.
the
It
best.
depends how you're sort of spread out and how you're looting, because you can get crashed upon, Poro.
Yes.
And when you are crashed upon, when you're not ready for it, when you barely don't have to work with.
crash.
Yeah, speaking of being crashed on, this is going to be Divine rolling up right now onto Team Secret. Smitty gets a nice peek and a nice shot with Car 98 onto Levi's, but return fire going to be dropping him down to about 10% HP. Retreating up into the 3rd story of this building. He's got a pistol out. Looks like he's out of ammo, but it's going to be the Tommy gun coming out from Divine's jet that's going to be knocking out Secret Smitty, our first blood here in game number 18.
He wanted to try to get the finish on the kill onto Levis, but he could not hear the footsteps of Jet coming up his own compound. As a result, Secret now going to have to play with 1 man down for the rest of this one. XQuest now taking over the Gatka area. They are going to have to make their way in as well. Gen G made their way down to Novoskaya a little bit late. They are going to be taking their time looting here, but them coming into circle late is not something that we are not used to seeing.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's really not, Poro. But with this over here in Kamashki, Method is going to be looting up. Not really too contested here on this northeastern side of the map. Just a hop and a skip to get down to the southwest inside of that circle. Knight's going to be looting up in Lipovka. At least Draydon is hopping in that cafe. And here comes a crate. And look who's driving right towards it. It's going to be Kimba 7 from Vega.
Yeah, Kimba 7 going to make his way over to this crate. He does need to be careful. There are going to quickly and get on his way. We saw in the background Ghost Balak has made his way up to a location in the circle for his squad to hold. He has not yet been joined, though, and this is something that you need to be careful about because, as we said numerous times, a solo in a very favorable compound is very, very likely to get crashed.
Exactly, and now we're starting to see the rotations come out of that southwestern area of the map, specifically Na'Vi leaving Primorsk, and here comes Vampire from Vega, going to be making his own transition up to the northeast as well on the motorcycle. He's got his teammate holding on to his hips, trying to hold on for dear life, doesn't want to fall off. Balak, though, looking like he was able to scout out this compound. He hears some cars in transition around him, is not putting out the deterrent shots yet, just holding as silent as he can for the time being.
Yeah, the angle wasn't really there for him to get the shots on the car by him, but he's going to go ahead and get back to looting. He does notice that Vampire Gamer, or Vega, was not going to be pushing his compound, so he's not too worried just yet. Meanwhile, we have the rest of Vega transitioning here with Navi right next to them. You need to be careful about where they want to go and call home. This is a scout here for Uba.
Right, I mean, exactly. And you have to guarantee that Uba is feeding this information to his teammate, letting them know that someone else is coming in transition almost directly on top of their own path. McCoy going to be flipping and flying over there, and that beautiful flaming Dacia able to land the connection and continues on up to the north. But as we can see, there goes Navi's Uba as well. So a lot of teams opting for this direct path up to the northeast.
Yeah, those flames on the side of that Dacia notably making the car about 10% faster. I didn't know if you knew that or not.
I didn't.
You didn't?
No,
well,
I
that's because I'm full of crap.
Oh, okay.
But he is going to make his way over to Ghost Balak. This is a nice little compound. We've seen this held before, that hillside just to the north, providing a lot of vision over the fields just to the south of Yasnaya. Meanwhile, Vega has kind of collected here around this crate, which has yet been looted. There, the shots now coming.
Yeah, this is Balak just trying to defend this compound. He's got McCoy now to help him out a little bit. It's going to be a favorable compound, at least for this position, but they have to keep other teams from crashing on top of it until they're able to reunite with their other two teammates, Turtle and Allergen. But meanwhile, Uba just continuing to try to scout. At least the first two positions that he has tried to land on have not been open for him. He's going to continue on now, crashing into the Alamo. Here comes the other members of Navi. Going to be taking a lot of fire from M19. Bachelin leading the charge, whips out the K98, trying to land a nice headshot, unable to do so. Pokemolodoy going to continue on in his transition, crashing into Yasnaya.
Really good line there taken by Pokemolodoy, getting just out of the line of sight of the boys from M19 at those yellows. Managing to make it all the way into Yasnaya. Here is his squad mate, though, holding down the Alamo. Not sure if they're wanting to do a large split here, if they just kind of got separated in transition. And they're going to have to come back and get together a little bit later. Rafi taken very, very low here. Looks like he should make it safe, though.
Yeah, it's going to be safe for the time being, but we did see one of his teammates, Moleman, get knocked out by Divine just a few minutes ago. Pang, though, going to be able to find his own connection, this time onto one of the members of Navi. Shade going to be dropped down and out. The thirst is real, but here comes Zero Tan, going to be trying to get more shots out on Navi. Navi trying to call Yasnaya their home.
Yeah, and that's a very ballsy decision there by Navi, knowing that MVP calls Yasnaya home. I guess they may have assumed that MVP might have tried to transition out of the city, but they can, and they kind of get rewarded here with another crate. That's going to be a Groza, not a sniper, but it's still something.
Yeah, it's it's better than nothing. The level 3 armor kit's certainly going to be the prize of these crates ever since that more recent patch. But here we go, Method trying to do whatever they can to continue on here without Molman as a 3-man squad. Meanwhile, though, MVP not going to be pulling off of this, and Drainus and Pokemolodoy in a bit of a tough position. They lost Shade. They need to reunite with Uba if at all possible. Drainus and Pokemolodoy going to be holding into this apartment, but here comes the aggressive 4-man rush from MVP.
And you knew it was coming. They are going to go in there as a full 4-man squad, even into this apartment complex, which I got to be honest with you, I'm pretty worried for MVP right here. A 2-man team can hold these angles really, really easily, and if MVP's not careful, they could end up losing 1, 2, if not more.
Exactly. I mean, you have to think of these stairwells as a choke point, and it's very easy to hold as 1 or 2 members. So if MVP plays this correctly, they might be able to come up on top of it, but they need to execute on it perfectly. Not able to do so. Pokemolodoy finds the first shots with the Scar on the siege.
This is so aggressive here from MVP. They are going to be able to get the guy down. Not sure if that was a frag or a smoke. I think that was, yeah, that's just a smoke. So they should be able to get this res here. It's very doubtful that Navi is going to push this. Looks like MVP is going to decide to pause this push for now, get that res, get the heals up, and then once again try to push this as 4. But God, this is something so rarely seen in competitive PUBG in the West.
Yeah, I mean, we're still in the first phase. Going to be connected on not by Navi, but by Vega with the Car 98. Maxes over with an incredible shot. So the third-party action already coming in now. I have to think that MVP is feeling like they bit off a little bit more than they could chew here.
Again, this is what we were talking about. This is such an aggressive push into a compound, an apartment building that, you know, it's so risky to do this. And they got to just figure out what they want to do from here. Is this something that they really want? Do they really need these points off these 2 Navi members? Meanwhile, Uba, the last member of Navi, still far away. He's not in any rush to get over to his squad mates. Drain is just holding down the angle, and here it comes.
Ooh, immediately connected on by MVP's paying with the M416. Alpaca follows up, able to get the knock on Pokemolodoy, leaving just Uba, a solo player to push on from Na'Vi. We're not used to seeing this from our CIS team Na'Vi so far in this tournament, so it's going to be very interesting to see how Uba will adjust his strategy, especially with Team 17 right up to the north.
Such a quick and devastating push coming out from MVP. They landed the shots they needed. They got the down early. If that had gone any other way, it could have been very, very rough for them. But instead, they now hold sole possession over Yasnaya. They are still 4 strong, and they got more loot from Na'Vi and another 14 points to add to their already prodigious total throughout this tournament.
Exactly, and here we can see where exactly Vega was holding out, where Maxizor was able to get that Car 98 shot onto 010. Quite a long-distance shot through one of these apartment windows, so you got to give Maxizor credit right there on his marksmanship. Around the map, though, we can see that the blue zone is almost done shrinking. Circle number 2 is about to pop, and here we go.
Ooh.
Shifted over to the west, and with the channel sort of splitting this circle almost in half, a little bit favored down or up to the or towards the north rather, it's going to be kind of interesting how our teams from the south are going to be able to transition up.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those circles where if you're a team, you have to bet that the next circle is going to pop north, right? You have to make your way over that river, and there's only a handful of compounds up there that are very strong for holding. There are a lot of areas of terrain that are great, good high ground locations, good spots that provide divots and good place where you can catch people out in transition. But in order to get those, you've got to get there quickly. And you can see all these teams starting to make those transitions now.
Yeah, exactly. And the shots are coming out. It looks like XQuest is rolling up onto this compound. Maybe a spectator bug right there. But Xiaodu and Z9 Max going to be taking their shots over at Secret's Fiend. Fiend dropped to about 5% HP. Going to have a little bit of cover to hide behind while he gets those meds rolling. Meanwhile, around the map, northeast, Victory 5, Sean Dion, Little Lee, and the rest of the crew going to be rotating in. But the shots continue to come out from this compound where Xiaodu and Z9 Max have found Secret. They're not taking their eyes off of this compound. They're going to continue to put down whatever firepower, whatever pressure they can.
Yeah, Secret down to just 2 players right here. And I would say that they're just trading shots back and forth. Maybe they get knock a helmet off. Maybe they get some armor off. But we know how these teams play. We know how these Chinese teams play. If they get one knock, you can be guaranteed that all 4 members of XQuest are going to crash that compound.
Absolutely. Valid from Ghost Gaming have a bit of an issue right now, possibly going for this crate. Didn't expect XQuest from Method to already be there. But the backup from Ghost McCoy going to be coming in absolutely clutch. McCoy with the M416 able to find the connection onto XQuest, and I fear for XQuest because there is no one nearby to give him any type of support. Ghost swarming around him, and the thirst will be had. That's Balak running XQuest over, taking him down and out here in game number 18.
Last 2 members of Method now making their way out in the blue up towards Kamishki, rotating all the way around to the north side. They need to get more points. They need to get these placements. And they're going to try to stay alive for as long as possible now that they're just down to 2. But a nice little come up there for Ghost as they're transitioning right behind the boys from Method.
And now we've seen MVP roll out of Yasnaya over to the west. Going to be rolling right in between Victory 5 and Divine. The crossfire coming back and forth. For the meantime, MVP able to skate by undamaged, at least fatally. Optics Bahawaka, though, going to be finding a connection onto Nikki from Divine. The M416 has been real in this game. I mean, usually we're used to seeing the Scar Portal, but it is really this gun that is racking up the kills. And this time, Hypoc with the SLR onto Pang.
Oh, and look at MVP is just wide open in the sights of Optic right now. They are going to get a little return fire. They are going to force Optic to go back down over their ridge. But MVP definitely feeling the hurt for right now from this transition. Not sure what they're doing. I think they're just going to go ahead and call this ditch home for right now.
Not the best home for these guys.
No, it's not. I mean, you can see Hypoc has wide open shot on this. He's going to land a couple, but it's not going to be enough to bring him down.
Yeah, 100% not where MVP wanted to stop. Almost forced there from the beautiful shots coming out from Optic right now. Hypoc just continuing to try to get whatever lines of sight onto MVP that he can. They already got the knock on the Pang. They know exactly what threat they're facing.
Absolutely, and these are definitely kills that Optic needs. They're hovering so close to that 8th or 9th halfway point, the cut line, essentially, for getting to the next phase of this tournament. And we've seen Optic and Ghost kind of go back and forth, trying to see who can get a little bit more position and gain spots here. Right now, still 56 alive, still 16 teams in, but everybody making their way towards this northern side of the river.
Yeah, certainly. You can tell 18 out of 20 games Right now, our 18th game being played out. No one wants to be the first team to drop out. These points are so critical. Not many more opportunities to rank up and proceed into the finals. But here it is. Vega going to be positioning themselves right here. We saw Max's already a beautiful shot with the Car 98. Can he continue to land those beautiful marksman shots? Shandian and the rest of Victory 5, though, going to be holding down in this gas station. We see this gas station played as a very favorable position more often than not, Poro.
Yeah, Victory 5 has not yet joined him, and Lily is actually going to go down to himself. I think he was getting shot at by Knights in the process, but now Shandian all by himself in this gas station. His other two teammates on the cliffs to the north of the lake, just north of Yasnaya. So they are very, very split up right now. But there's a lot of things popping off in north as Ghost is trying to make their way through M19, and they are suffering consequences right now as Elajan goes down.
And there it is, the third circle of game number 18. It will be shifting north across the river leading out of Yasnaya. So all of our teams that opted for that early rotation to get across that river and up to the north are going to be rewarded for their efforts in this case. All they have to do is look down to the south and see if any other teams are trying to cross that very tough choke point. Here it is, though. Knight's going to be spotting out Genji's Simson, taking a few shots in their own rotation. Draydon back in the car. Voxic, he had come over here to thirst down onto the player from Victory 5 that he had previously knocked. We've seen Voxic time and time again land these shots with the DMR. And here comes Chelator crashing right into the shack where we saw Secret hole up. Check going to be popping out. Going to be trying to get these shots onto Chelator, and he's going to be able to do so.
And yet somehow Krema steals the kill there from across the way. So Genji actually look like they're not pulling off of this. They're still trying to get this shack. Yeah,
I mean, Loki's going to be reversing. He's dropped down to 50% HP. Wick 2D going to be pushing up, trying to throw some grenades on top of Secret. We see Check drop down to about 10% HP, and he's going to ultimately be knocked by Knight's Krema. So the third-party action is coming in absolutely huge on the northern side of the map.
Meanwhile, Divine actually taking out a person trying to rush their compound. Check actually going to be finished off as well by Krema. So now it's just Fiend holding down this one little shack. Can he defend it from Genji? Will Genji try to push into it? It looks like they are not for now. There's just too much third-party fire coming in. They can't really afford to. Hypoc has gone down. Oh, he manages to get inside that shack just in time. They should be able to get that res.
We have seen 15 players drop out, and no teams have been eliminated yet. So you can tell as soon as one of their players are knocked, if they are not able to get there, they are rotating immediately to safety. No one wants to be 16th place here in game number 18. Wick 2D and the rest of Genji just trying to hold down on top of that shack. Certainly Secret's Fiend is very scared as to the threat approaching him from the south. Meanwhile, though, up here in the warehouse, just to the southeast of Severny, is going to be holding X-Quest. AK and Cobra up here just trying to get whatever lines of sight possible. Meanwhile, though, Gax is going to be knocked for welcome to South George.
Yeah, it's just shots coming in from everywhere right now as Vega is going to be taking down Gaxi. Should be able to get that res off. Yeah, that's an easy res right there. Tainted Minds, meanwhile, making their way in from the south. Uba, the lone remaining player from Na'Vi, is going to try to stay alive as long as possible, but I think Ghost might be able to get vision on him here, and that's bad news for Na'Vi. They do not want to go out in 16th.
Yeah, exactly. We saw Allergen from Ghost get knocked out earlier, but Allergen is more often than not going to be the scout for this team, so they still have 3 men strong. Balak, Turtle, and McCoy trying to push on here. We've talked about how important it is for Ghost to rack up whatever points they can because they're riding just on the edge of qualification.
Absolutely. I don't know if they've even... I don't think they're aware of Uba right now. You see McCoy taking vision over Yasnaya. He has some vision on the guys at the gas station, but nobody looking down into the water. So Uba might actually make this, but now he's taking shots from Team 17 on the other side of the water.
Absolutely. Optic also spotting out Ghost Gaming, sort of silhouetting here on the cliffs. So all of these teams now beginning to get a little bit too close for comfort. They need to start eliminating these threats whenever the opportunities present themselves. We can see Uba able to get at least to the cliffs here. So he's going to have a little bit of cover from the teams riding up to his north, but he's going to be wide open to all of the teams down from his south. McCoy going to be spotting out some of the members of Team 17, trying to rotate across the bridge, one of the more extreme choke points in this northern side of the circle.
And Victory 5 now from the compound just to the north of Ghost, taking shots down at them as well. So Ghost getting definitely a little hectic right now as they're taking shots from multiple locations as this next circle is about to close, and we're going to see where everybody is going, and it's going to be just to the center.
just to the center, pretty much directly on top of XQuest and MVP. But here it comes, Team 17 going to be crashing in on Optic's compound. The shots coming out left and right. Xiao and Shock's going to be dropping Valiant, but can Hetror withstand the push? Shock's going to be finding another connection. Optic really hurting here. Team 17 just absolutely running through these guys.
And again, the 2-2 split coming in from Optic so late, it's proven time and time again throughout this LAN to be a bad strategy. You end up getting pushed by 4-man squads just like this, and now Optic down to just 2 players. They are in circle, though. They don't have to rotate, but you know they were 4 strong just a second ago.
Yeah, exactly. And the other 2 members of Optic, as we can see on our mini-map, just north of them on the southern side of this circle. So certainly the information has been fed to Bahawaka and his teammate that there will be a threat presenting itself in the form of Team 17 from the south. But here it comes. Voxic once again with a DM.
They do manage to finish off Drayden, though, so Knight's now down to 3 as they try to make their way in. They have to figure out what they want to do about Gen G. Wicked is down. Loki, the last remaining player up, I believe, for Gen G, as Knights is just swarming around this. Meanwhile, Fiend just praying and praying that they don't notice that he's there.
Ooh, but here actually comes MVP out back with the Mini 14, able to find the finishing connections onto Wicked, who was already bleeding out, so that kill will be stolen away. Back here, though, to Fiend, the only player remaining for Team Secret, just trying to do whatever he can to not be that 16th place team here in game number 18. We can see that Gen G has sort of rotated back off of their aggressive position after being third-party engaged by Knights.
And this is such a tough circle, this next circle. There's so much open area around here. There's the wide open fields. There are hills to the north. There are hills to the south, but there's not a lot of cover to be found. So a lot of these teams have to make sure they bring their vehicles into these areas just to provide some amount of cover.
I mean, exactly. And with all of these rotations, all 16 teams still remaining, it's absolutely chaotic. The battlefield is being set, and that's going to be Hypok connected on by XQuest. Z9 Max with the M416 taken down and out, leaving, I believe, just 1 member left. Bahawaka here, the Shack, but he's rolled up on, once again, the team that wiped out his other members just to the south just a minute ago. Team 17 aggressively pushing.
And this is the last thing Optic needs right now. They cannot afford to go out in 16th place. Bahawaka is going to have to make something happen with this DP, but he's only got 47 bullets, it looks like.
Yeah, you got to smoke out that very front of the building to try to get some sort of exit point. But here it is, a third-party engagement coming in from Welcome to South George. Team 17 able to run through Bahawaka. Optic going out in 16th place. That is not what they wanted to have happen here, but now Team 17 needs to worry not only about Welcome to South George, but also Tainted Minds.
And also Divine, who is third-partying them from the southeast. Everybody shooting at everybody in this southern part of the circle. As we said, it's wide open. Everybody has vision on everything. You need to have some kind of cover. All these teams using this utility. Welcome to South George is down to just Vard now, who manages to get the heal off. Can he get the res onto Gaxi? Looks like he's going to go for it. 17 not pushing this just yet. They want to res their own player.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of cover to work with. Larson going to be rolling up right here. The smoke will be dissipating in a matter of seconds. So Larson's going to be trying to put out whatever pressure he can back onto Team 17 to push them off of this to give Welcome to South George a little bit of reprieve. Boxic going to be knocked down and out. Texas going out as well. Ghost Gaming going to be putting the pressure on.
And Tainted Minds actually putting a lot of hurt on Team 17. Their players, meanwhile, Welcome to South George manages to all get rezzed except for Miracu. Fiend finally going to be finished off by Loki, who has no health. He had no health left after running from the blue here. Boys from Welcome to South George so pinned right now.
Loki has just been an incredible player, not just today, but throughout the entirety of our qualification tournament. Welcome to South George, though. The circle has shifted up to the north. They have a long way to go and so many difficult obstacles standing inside of their path. The grenade's going to be coming out. The vehicles are going to be exploding. Ghost still able to find connections left and right. And the solo player from Navi just trying to make his way in. Not able to do so. Navi will be eliminated in 14th position here in game number 18.
And the new circle has popped, and it's going to go a little bit more towards the north of this road. All these teams to the south are going to have a long way to run. I feel bad for them because there's very little likelihood that they're going to make it all in.
Yeah, it's going to be incredibly difficult for these guys. They need some sort of a distraction. They need to do something here because rotating out as all 2 players here as a duo is going to be incredibly difficult. Larson just trying to look around, watch his flanks. He's an incredibly intelligent player, and you can see him just trying to play out through his strategy. You know that their comms are trying to just figure out where do we go from here and where do we stop, because so much chaotic gunfire around them. Certainly, it's hard to tell.
Yeah, I don't believe Welcome to South George has any vehicles either right now, and that's going to be Vard going down to 17 and finished off. So Welcome to South George, you can see the blue is pushing, They're stuck right now.
They got the knock on the VAR. They know that there is at least one more player remaining for Welcome to South George, and it's going to be Larson trying to withstand that blue damage, trying to get the meds going until hopefully they either forget about him or he's able to find a different angle of escape. Team 17 going to be pushing up a little bit further into this circle, but they need to worry about the threat, not just to their northeast, not just to their north, but also to their northwest. So many teams are going to be in a position to gatekeep Xiao and Shox.
Yeah, X-Quest still 4 strong in this compound, just off screen. MVP running around with 3 men up. They do have vision onto 17 here. Welcome South George. Larson, can he get the heal off? Yes, he can, just barely in time. He's going to try to chase this blue, see if he can get in, see if he can live just a little bit longer. MVP finally finding 17. The shots are coming out. Krema gets picked off by Loki. Oh, that's going to be it for Knights. And look at this. This is, once again, Loki just dominating as a solo player.
I mean, Porter, we have seen some huge development specifically in this game alone. Navi going out, Knights going out. The leaderboards are going to be an absolute shamble, and if you're still in this lobby, you're going to be very excited to see that some of these top teams are going to be positioning themselves a little bit further down. Meanwhile, though, with the blue zone still pushing in, Ghost Gaming on top of this hill just trying to watch their flanks. Still 3 men alive for this squad as team number 17 is taken out in 11th place.
And Larson still trying to snake his way in, still healing up in the blue, has managed to gain his team at least a couple of placement points here just by staying alive.
Yeah, it's incredibly
and now
difficult.
He's taking shots.
I mean, once this blue zone finishes shrinking in on this circle, he will be taking double damage, and I fear that this is the end for Larson and Welcome to South George here in this game alone. 10th place for Welcome to South George. Not bad given what they were working with. You got to give it up for Larson, able to extend whatever placement he could. But meanwhile, Ghost Gaming over here on the eastern side of the previous circle, just trying to put out whatever damage they can, realizing that it's going to be a little bit tough for them to rotate over to the west.
A little bit tough is not even the word for it. It's going to be almost impossible for them to get down there. They are on the top of a hill. They have to rotate in through Victory 5 and M19, and meanwhile they have Divine just off to their south, so it is going to be a very rough transition for them to try to get to this circle. Meanwhile, M19 has managed to make their way into a nice little ditch there on the side of this road.
Yeah, sort of sliding in right between 2 different teams. I'm surprised that they were able to make it there, but certainly they took a lot of damage in the process. Holding on to this little bit of death blade, they're going to be looking around, trying to spot out Victory 5. But here comes Balak. He's going to be rotating down in the Dacia, trying to find his way on to the northern side of the circle and inside, but it's going to be MVP finding connections onto Vegas Kippy, dropping him down and out.
MVP still having to make their way in from the south. They're going to be pushing right into X-Quest, though. X-Quest has 1 player down. The shots are coming out. They have hopped into vehicles. I like this rotation from Ghost. They have managed to make their way into the circle. They have McCoy to the north, but he's getting lit up right now. They're trying to defend a little bit. Method just been hiding in the shack. The last 2 remaining players been staying alive for now, but they have been spotted out.
Ooh, and here comes MVP, Alpaca, and 010, and the rest of the crew going to be crashing directly on top of Victory 5. Shots coming out left and right. Ghost going to be third-partying this. Alpaca finds the connection onto LSN, popping inside the shack. Shandian going to be going down to 010. The thirst is real, and MVP is absolutely making work of Victory 5. Landrin, the only member alive, is going to be outside of the shack, inside of the smoke concealment, just trying to hide, trying to spot out where the remaining members of MVP currently are. Landrin doesn't hear 010 rotating around the building. 010 just trying to figure out, he's got to assume at this point that that member from Victory 5 is going to be in the smoke, but he opts to pop into the shack, trying to get the res onto his 2 teammates.
Wow, I cannot believe that they're actually going to be able to get at least one of these reses off. Landrin. Oh no, Landrin's got the grenade. He does have a frag. He's not throwing it in though.
Landrin, this is your opportunity. Use that 200 IQ to throw that grenade inside of that shack. You will be so rewarded if you opt to do that. But here we can see Ghost in the bottom right-hand corner of our screen is taking a lot of damage in the process. 2 knocks, 1 on the Balak, 1 on the Turtle. That's going to be McCoy hiding behind that yellow Dacia, trying to stick the res. Meanwhile, though, we can see that this 4-party engagement right here, M19, X-Quest, MVP, and Victory 5 is just going to continue to heat up.
I cannot believe that Landrin let MVP get those reses off. He has a grenade. And yet now, Zerotan and Alpaca still alive in this shed. They still are in this game. M19 probably in the best position going forward, and now the new circle is popping. Yeah, they're still feeling really, really good with their positioning.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be feeling good right there. Yeah, Landrin going to be going down and out along with Victory 5 here in 7th position. And sort of surprisingly, Method able to sort of skate their way in here. We saw them take some early casualties, one to Ghost, and I believe one other team. I can't exactly remember which it was, Poro, but able to make it here. 6 teams remaining. Certainly this is what they wanted to have happen.
It was a rough transition phase for Method, but they managed to keep these 2 players alive. They now are going to have to leave this shack, though, and it's nothing but wide open field in front of them, and they don't have any vehicles to work behind, so they're going to be very exposed to M19 unless Ghost decides to start getting... Oh, they're actually getting kills here.
Yeah, 8 able to find a connection with the Mini 14 onto Vampire from Vega, wiping them down and out. 5 teams now remaining, 14 players alive. It is going to be an all-out battlefield here on our final few circles of the game. 15 seconds until the blue zone will be shrinking on our 7th circle.
XQuest has been in this compound forever now. I'm not sure how many kills they're sitting on currently, but they have been safe for so long, and that's going to be example taken out by Raffi. Constantine, the last remaining player up. The smoke is up. Should be able to get this res onto Elite player unless MVP still has frags, and they do. They're just not landing just right. McCoy. Oh, McCoy's thirsty.
He is thirsty. Does he know, though, that the res was being had onto Elite player? He is in the exact same smoke as Constantine right now. He's going to be prone, just trying to creep up.
God,
Meanwhile, though, Method is continuing to rain down Hellfire. Able to find a connection this time is going to be 8 with the Mini 14 onto Balak. Ghost McCoy, though, able to find Constantine in the smoke. So you got to give it up to McCoy. That was a very aggressive push, but for right now, it's paying off.
Method's been quiet for so long, and now they have just opened up on everything around him, and it's paying off in spades. They have managed to pick up 3 kills for themselves. Raffi has gone down. Etsy is now getting eaten by the blue. He's going to have to try to transition. It's not going to be enough. Zero Tan going to take him out. Method going out in 5th place, but that is huge for them.
Yeah, unfortunately, that aggressive push that Method was sort of rolling on drew the attention from all of the surrounding teams, and it was only a matter of time before MVP was able to rain down Hellfire on top of them. McCoy, though, look at his position right next to Elite player. Hops around the car, able to spot him out, wiping M19 out in 4th place. Ghost is trying to continue it on, but unfortunately the grenade from Z9 Max and XQuest going to be wiping out Ghost Gaming in 3rd position.
3rd place, though, for Ghost is huge. But right now we have XQuest finally has to come out of their hidey hole and get involved with MVP. Zertan's going to go down. XQuest only 2 kills to their name, but nobody's ever actually got close to them. They should have this sewn up, and that is going to do it. 4-kill win for XQuest. They had 2 on our first day, 2 back-to-back wins in the first 2 games of Miramar. Haven't done a whole lot since, but this is a nice pickup for them.
Yeah, absolutely. You know so well that MVP wanted that first place. They were so close, but they just met so many obstacles on the way there and were whittled down in the process.
12 kills for MVP. I'm terrified of these guys if I'm anybody else that's going to be in this lobby next weekend. They have firmly secured their trip towards next weekend's finals.
Oh, 100%.
Easily.
And I know that a lot of our teams from the finals have flown in today and are watching these matches right now. So they are certainly going to be anticipating MVP to be a top threat in our finals.
No, and I know Mr. Martin, Mr. Avenger, constantly talking about, oh, okay, well, now next weekend we're bringing in very top talent teams. We have Liquid, we have FaZe, we have all these huge names that are coming in, but MVP showing that they are ready to play. They are not scared of anyone.
Yeah, I mean, we have some of the top teams, pretty much the top teams in the world here, Poro, and the action is going to be fierce. Nothing is going to be easy. Nothing is going to be gifted. You have to earn